again. Let me tell you, I ain't perfect. These other rappers lie to you in verses. I show the fans my heart, not the surface. My whole life a circus.
Hello, crypto world. It's your boy Muddy Mo, aka Mr. Bean, coming at y'all again with another daily DeFi degenerate update. We're gonna be talking about the insane story of the Drip Network. So I'm gonna tell y'all the story. Y'all already know, man. I'm Muddy Mo. I'm for the people. I do this for the people. You know what I mean? I do this DeFi stuff for the people. So speaking of that, this is my link tree. Come check us out on the link tree. All the contracts that we in the Muddy Crypto movement is here. So before I get going, I know y'all want to hear this. Before I get going, make sure y'all hit that like. Also, hit that subscribe and then slap that bell right next to it. Also, if you're interested in talking about Drip Network or anything in DeFi, come check Muddy Mo and others in the Muddy Crypto movement at Muddy Mo World of Crypto on Telegram. All right? Yeah, y'all want to hear more? Stay tuned. Bing. All right, so it's story time. Now, some of y'all who got in Drip, y'all might not like it. Y'all might not like every part of this. However, you already know we love that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So at the end of this, hopefully you will find something that's useful. But I got to go through the whole story because people that might get into Drip in the future and people that's been in it want to know what's going on, especially if you're not fully aware of how this went. So as you see here, this is the Drip Network price chart. How all this story is going to even come around is because of this chart looking like it is. Now, before we can jump into Drip Network and we talk about all that in Manor Farm, all of that, before we go down that road, let me tell you a little bit about the developer. So the developer, Forex Shark, is now, especially after all this, is now a seasoned developer. But he started off on Ethereum blockchain with a token called BREAP. And similar going forward, he made a kind of a clone of that, which is Reap on Binance Smart Chain, which he actually made a part of the Drip Network through the referral systems. So that's who started this whole thing. That's who's behind it. Now, let's take a couple steps back. Let's talk about what happened at the beginning of Drip Network. So Forex and his team, make a long story short, had a dream. We had a failure of another contract, and this contract came about. And at the time, it was slow to adopt. And it was only a couple of influencers basically talking about Drip Network. So all in all, things happen in the world, things happen in crypto, things happen in DeFi. And boom, Drip had success. And when I say success, I mean like instant success. And not only just that, it was like a perfect combination. It's like a perfect combo because at that time, DeFi needed a contract. Like some people say in the streets needed a body. Like we needed something to pop. And Drip Network was kind of perfect time, perfect place, perfect promotion. Boom, boom, boom. Whale taxes. Great program, great system, all of that. Now, this story takes a turn. And y'all know this is all related to the Drip price. At this point, Drip has found an insane amount of success. If you were a top DeFi influencer, you were in Drip Network at that time. There was still a lot of people who were doubting it. And there was still a lot of people, even in the space to this day, that doubt Drip Network. So it was always detractors. So it was always a back and forth back in those days. Now, fast forward. At the time, farms were very popular. So a lot of people think Animal Farm and Manor Farm was the first farms. Actually, the first farm was this. Bee Farm. And they're not going to talk about this. The Bee Farm was actually the first farm to use the Drip token as a use case away from the site. Everybody like, oh, Drip is important. It's going to go up in price. It's going to go up in price. Because it is Drip Bee Pair. And just like any other farm, DJ look at the bee price right now. The bee drained and people took out of this farm and it died. So Forex said, hey, that was a failure. It wasn't my farm, allegedly. I don't know whose farm this was. But it wasn't Forex's. Allegedly. He ain't taking credit for it. But one thing he was taking credit for was this. The Manor Farm. Now, the Manor Farm was just a stage. And I guess Forex's plan to get to the Animal Farm. So it was just a stage of farming, I guess, to build liquidity and build, some momentum for the project. And there's nothing wrong with that. Take y'all back in time. The Drip Network Telegram was picking up, booming. People were showing more and more, making more and more airdrops, more deposits. It was looking good for Drip. And it was just perfect time because a lot of people started knowing Forex's name. Forex kept doing AMAs. It was just a big deal, and he always had something next. He always had the next big idea. Manor Farm, which was the pre-sale to the animal farm, was that first big idea. And boy, was it a good one. Boy, was it a good one. Woo, woo. There was no farming like the Manor Farm. I don't even know if there ever will be farming like the Manor Farm. This was phenomenal. And this is where Forex's popularity really shot up. Not only just that, the Manor Farm took drip to the next level. Outside of the farms, which I'll talk about in just a second, what the Manor Farm had, 2 pieces of the Manor Farm which carried over to the animal farm, which is very important to the drip price and why the price eventually started to drop. All right, we still early in the story. It's still kind of good a little bit, but it's gonna turn dark. But the drip liberation, which allows users to basically buy the drip BUSD liquidity pair, and all they have to do is have one single asset, so BUSD, cake, whatever they wanted to have. And the key to this was users did not have to pay the 10% tax that they would have paid in Drip Network, the Faucet, when dealing with the Drip token. So basically, this was a cheaper way to buy Drip or to get into Drip. And that was a good idea initially because nobody knew about the Manor Farm. So nobody knew what to expect. So initially, this was very, very popular. And not just that, this contract, the Drip Garden, which is also now copied on the animal farm, was phenomenal starting. Oh man, like immediately, if you got it early, you got 10x gains, 10x gains, and then it was a whole other wave after with the Drip Garden. But the Drip Liberation and the Drip Garden did one thing that Muddy does not like, and I always talk about this. The Drip Liberation cheapened the Drip token. It smutted out the Drip token. I ain't gonna lie to you. It did. It made Drip a little bit cheaper, and nobody was buying Drip anymore through the Faucet. Nobody cared to, because you'll buy here cheaper. Why not? And you got to think, that's not what somebody who got into the Drip Faucet signed up for. They didn't sign up for somebody to have an on-ramp to get cheaper Drip. And that was essentially to put people in a Drip Garden, but it don't work out like that. But the Drip Garden was a minor contract paying roughly 3% a day, and had a time bonus and all of that. And y'all see, it got up to 800,000 in its contract balance, and now it's just draining. So that was brought out with the Manor Farm. So the Manor Farm was very, very important. Now, let me tell y'all about the biggest piece to the Manor Farm, and we're gonna move on. Farming. Oh, it's not showing the APR. These APRs was unreal, man. People made a fortune in the Manor Farm. And with the success of this, you could only expect good things out of future plans from Forex Shark. And you didn't expect him to do nothing other than something great. All of them were paying ridiculous, but they were paying in a Rev token. And that Rev token price was going astronomical. It got really high, and I'm not going through all the specifics, but Rev token got really high and really valuable. Now, here's where we meet the fork in the road. So the Manor Farm was all just a pre-sale. All right, it was all a pre-sale for the animal farm. And the biggest thing was that Forex Shark was going to make the animal farm what it was supposed to be. So users who farmed and had a lot of value in Rev tokens were persuaded and highly urged from Forex Shark to basically sell their Rev tokens, which at the time had thousands of dollars of value, to sell their Rev tokens for PL2 tokens. And what PL2 tokens was going to do was basically you were going to be in a pre-sale to the animal farm, and you would get dogs and pig tokens at a 20% value, or get 20% more than anybody else coming in later into the animal farm, which with farmers, we expected a lot of people to come into the animal farm. So now let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. The animal farm. So to speed this up, long story short, it's not a link here anymore, but when users first got into the animal farm, they had to swap their PL2 tokens, which would have gave you your extra pig and dog tokens. That was not the case at all. The biggest issue was that most people lost value, lost 20 to 40%, and have no clue where it went. And the issue with animal farm, this is where we start running into a lot of big problems, because a lot of people lost tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands, probably millions, by not selling a Rev token and then coming in later and buying pigs and seeing what was happening. Everybody trusted Forex. So you had less dogs, less pigs. Now, I'm not going through the specifics of Animal Farm, but basically, pigs was supposed to be the most valuable, just like in the book, The Animal Farm. And pigs did not give that many rewards as Forex suggested or even wanted. It just didn't work out like that. What happened was the dog token became very popular. There was millions upon millions of dollars locked into the Animal Farm. Not only just that, it was millions coming from Manor Farm and Rev tokens. So users who had Rev tokens got basically shafted, bro. Got the short end of the stick. And Forex know it. He just doesn't admit it. And it's sad that he don't admit that. So the BUSD awarded wasn't what it's supposed to be. And what happens when that wasn't paying out, when that BUSD wasn't rewarded? The pig token price just started to plummet and fast. One reason why is because Forex wasn't a man of his word. He didn't let this market just naturally do what it was going to do. He was trying to do too much manipulation. And instead of creating within the contract a way to hold value, he was doing it by hand, and that made things very rough. Doing buybacks and all that stuff like that was just paying who? And Muddy, I'm a part of this group. I'm a part of them. The farmers. Oh, so what was not expected when Animal Farm came out was the farmers to farm. And farmers, first off, you know, it was this whole other program with this DCCA. See, it's not here anymore. Because I don't think that worked. Basically, it was supposed to adjust the price with the supply. It was basically centralized Forex doing all that himself. And we're gonna buy back pigs, and people timing it up, selling pigs. It was just a disaster. But one thing that was good about it though is these farms, and the farms were running good. All of these farms, which had mostly stables, paying very good percentages in stables. The key that Forex wanted was people to use these dogs to basically get more pigs, and then the whole pigs to get more rewards. That's washing money a lot of times, and that's a lot of fees and a lot of time. People's like, man, these dogs, I'm about to sell these. And dogs became utterly popular. So Forex, upset about the pigs, said, you know what? I need to create something else. But all he really did was create a more complex version of the drip garden, which was the piggy bank. The piggy bank was a whole new thing. Basically pay pigs over time and lock up a lot of pigs so the value of pigs can be higher, so people in the pig pen can get more rewards. However, it didn't work out like that. Somebody got in, got a lot of pigs cheap, and basically dumped a lot of pigs. It is what it is. Not only just that, it was stupid late. Every launch was late. And let me go back in the story, y'all. Every launch was late. Every launch. We're looking out for bots. People taking off work. You know what I'm saying? Just to get these launches, all bad. So we get to the piggy bank, and it's just everybody's like super Forex. People making drip channels. Now, whole time, Drip Network's doing fine. To this point, it was holding, but it was going down gradually, but people were still interested, and we're getting a lot of new people. A lot of new influencers made channels just for Drip Network. So this was a big deal. And the piggy bank was, to be honest, it was just a straight up flop. The launch was trash. People got different pig prices. And not just that, this was confusing. This was confusing as hell. It was no explanation. This was just bad. So basically, obviously, everybody starts selling pigs. And once some people start selling, everybody starts selling. At that point, all the APRs was going down and down and down. Then here we go. Forex like, oh no, that TVL started going down. And Forex like, no, this can't happen. He ended up pausing the farms. And then he locked people's liquidity pairs in these farms. The total value locked in these farms is miniature to what it was. It got up to astronomical amounts. Why? Because of farmers. However, farmers didn't do what Forex wanted. Farmers don't care about Forex. They care about money. So they sold dogs and they didn't care about pigs. All right, so let's talk about the biggest, what I think to be the biggest issue with the Animal Farm. So here is the telegram. Oh, you can't see nothing? It's because they block people and they block Money Mo. I didn't even say a word in their telegram and they blocked me. So this was the problem right here. I have no clue what's going on in Animal Farm, and a lot of people didn't. And this is a bad look because nobody knew what to turn. There was so many fake groups, fake chats, fake forexes, all of that. But all in all, for even me to be blocked, I can't even show y'all the Telegram if I wanted to. This is the problem. This is one of the main problems, and one of their lead influencers over there was also a main problem with this. So this is bad, bro. Like, this is just not handling the situation like you should. This is something else that was contributing to Drip Network going down, and this is insane. This was insane. For them to block regular people and act like kids, really, this was all insane. So it is what it is. So all in all, I know it's a lot of ups and downs. This is really sounds like an insane story. But the insane story of Drip Network, it started really, and this is just my opinion, but it started with too many projects. There was too many pre-sales. Then we had the Rev token debacle where we didn't get the 20%. Then we had pigs not paying what they supposed to be paying. Not just that, Forex was moving and adding a lot of funds, and we're gonna burn tokens. Basically a lack of decentralization. That's not what we want. We don't want the devs to have to move stuff for the contract to work. And obviously it looks like the DCCA, whatever it was that was supposed to make the price and the supply and all that work, obviously that wasn't coded. So that was something that was done manually. That's what it looks like. Just saying. So then there were Telegram tickouts, and then that basically just isolated the community. And all the while, people were believing in Drip Network and it was growing, and then the price just started dropping. So we got to where we are today. That's essentially what it is. So I'm gonna let y'all go. Again, the insane story of Drip Network. Also, if you got any questions, how to join Drip, what questions about why Drip went down, or is it going back, all that, just come check us out on the Telegram at Muddy Mo World of Crypto. It's the Muddy Crypto movement. Ain't no big eyes, little U's. Alright? And you get it right here. Alright? Y'all want to hear more? Stay tuned. Beep.